Stay strong out there, South Silly. 13 days into his tea break, he is just offering support out there. I just quickly unmute you there, Monkey, as well. Yeah, I don't know how long he's going for. Was it a work-related thing? I can't remember, but you know, stay strong. Everybody stay strong. South Silly. Okay, don't say anything. Right, we'll see you.
I didn't know if I was
14
unmuted
minutes.
or not. I was supposed to talk and not talk, so yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of hanging.
But it's all good. That might confuse YouTube into thinking our first 2 minutes is up now, so that then we can swear when we get back. Roll up, everybody. See you in a bit. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yes, everybody, and welcome to High on Homegrown, the cannabis podcast from PercysGrowRoom.com. I am Macky from the UK, and joining us this week, we have Monkey Do.
Hey everybody, Monkey here in the Southeast US, enjoying a rather nice day today. I hope everybody else is staying warm and has something nice to smoke on today.
Nice. We also have Marge.
That's right. This is Marge coming at you from Central Canada, Ontario, more specifically, host of Bite Me the Show about edibles, and I am enjoying some edibles today.
Nice.
What
Good.
we
That's
got?
the topic, right? That's the topic we're on today for the Grow Guides, anyway.
Does happen to be, yes.
Nice. What edibles do you have?
I recently made some like pumpkin keto. I have something bites. I have to look it up. I have it on my phone. It was a long name, but they're really good. So
Pumpkin keto bites.
So
Okay.
it
Something like
seems like you're completely over that whole Turkish delight fad now.
it is not a fad. And no, I'm not. I'm not over the Turkish light. In fact, I bought some on the weekend.
Oh no!
Gosh.
Um,
She's
and I
addicted.
bought some
She's
That's
as
addicted.
a
right.
gift.
Everybody, Marge has a problem.
I literally went to the bulk food store and bought a huge bag. And then I was just like, holy shit, these were for like $20. But whatever. Worth it.
Ugh. Each to their own, I say. Enjoy, Marge. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah, Monkey mentioned how it's nice and warm for him, but here in the UK, we've been hitting some -0 temperatures, and we actually had snow yesterday where I am, which is dire.
Bro, it's above 20 today, so I mean, come on now.
Jesus, man.
Oh, rubbing it in just a little bit.
You know,
I gotta do it because in the summertime when I was miserably hot, and you always saying it's not that bad here.
damn.
Did I say that? I don't think I would have said that.
Everybody
you
up
got
in
snow?
Canada
Yeah,
enjoying
Marge,
a
you
normal
on the
days.
snow?
We had a little bit of snow this weekend, but it's like 1 degree out, so it's not going to last.
Right.
So no major snow yet, thank God.
Oh, God, I hate it so much. Shout out to all of you guys out there suffering with the snow. God.
It's the shoveling of the stuff that I really hate. It's just, and well, that's one of the many things, but
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything that I do like about snow at all. No.
I like to
No.
look at it. It's pretty.
kind of bullshit.
No, even looking at it makes me fucking angry.
Oh, down here, I can look at it all day and all night because it'll melt by itself.
Oh, man. But yeah, so what we're covering today, we've got 6 cannabis news stories from around the world. We've got some interesting stuff to cover. And as we mentioned briefly earlier, in the Grow Guides this week, we're going to be talking about cannabis cooking techniques. And this is so you can try and infuse cannabis in some way with your festive meals that will be coming up over the next few weeks. We won't say that C word just yet because we're still a few weeks away. But yeah, the festive season is coming. So you're going to be having these nice meals with people. And if they wanted to partake, then they should be able to. So we're going to discuss how to make some edibles today as well.
For the big C word.
For the big C word.
Because Macky doesn't want to say it out loud, even though Monkey's avatar features.
No, that's just a warm weather hat. That's
Yeah,
just,
it's
that's all
cold.
that is.
It's cold.
It's
Worn
cold.
only
Yeah.
by one particular person. So we all know. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say ho ho ho, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, language now. Language. No. So yeah, that's right. I mean, that's 3 minutes in, and we've already got everything all wrapped up. It's so professional today, everybody. Do you see that?
I was going to say, this
Yeah.
was a very, very professional intro, and I think you nailed it finally. The first one for 2023. Congratulations.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It took all the way to December to get it, but we finally got one.
But that's okay. It's okay.
Only
We live
about
and learn.
40 episodes. It's just-
Yeah.
But there it is. What did you call Marge Macky? A big C word? No, of course not. Of course not. So, Jesus.
I would
Jesus.
never.
That's crazy talk. Yeah, Margie's got all the knowledge today when we get to the Grow Guides episode, to talk about all the dishes that she knows how to make because of her awesome podcast. What is your podcast again, Marge?
It is aptly named Bite Me the Show about edibles.
Oh, so apt for this episode then.
Yes, very apt.
Nice.
Nice indeed. Yeah, no Bubble Hot today. He's still out there doing his thing in the desert or the outback or wherever he is.
We have no idea. He had not sent a carrier emu in a while, so we have no clue what he's doing.
So everybody got something rolled. What you got, Monkey? What are you smoking on?
I got cherrygasm in the XQ2
Oh, nice,
today,
nice.
you know? So yeah, it's nice sativa, very strong, but it's one of them that function nicely on. It's not real heavy.
Sweet. What do you have, Marge? Are you just having the edibles today?
Yeah, I'm just doing the Eddies for now.
Nice. No
Yeah.
vaping? Nothing?
No, no.
Wow. Just edibles, man. That's hardcore, that is. Damn.
I'm hardcore when it comes to the edibles.
Well, I need to come visit then.
They mash me up bad, man. Edibles mash me up.
Oh, good fun, man. Good fun.
Yeah. So just take an acid tab instead, you know.
Oh yeah.
Just fucking
Totally
go all
different,
in,
brother.
You know.
Yeah, talk about.
Yeah, man. So quick shout out to everybody out there in the chat. I didn't write everybody's name down. I haven't done that for a while. But, you know, we have our usual faces out there. It's always good to see you guys out there on a Sunday. Hope you're all smoking something nice. Don't forget to drop in the chat what you're smoking as well. Be good to find out what you've all got. What have I got? Fucking hell. What's that one with just smoke? You know, the Illuminato 21, the sour crinkle. I think it's that,
yeah.
but I think it's a mix with the Argin's elixir as well, because it was just like on the tray. So just wrap it up in some paper and light it up. So we'll light it up. Did you hear the lighter? Let's do it.
I did.
I heard
did.
that. I can try and put the microphone next to this extremely quiet vaporizer over here that the bag is filling, but you wouldn't hear it. It's too quiet.
Well, there's Mook.
Oh, that's a real feature.
It is on this thing. This riser, those towers, man, they make almost no noise compared to the volcano. Volcano makes a bit of racket. These are quiet.
Delicious. Delicious. I like cannabis. If you like cannabis, hit that like button. That would be cool.
you like cannabis, like this podcast.
That's right. That's right. Because that's what we talk about quite often. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well, everybody. And you can find all of these episodes over on iTunes and Spotify, any podcast network. So if you just choose your favorite one, search for High and Homegrown, you'll find loads of episodes, man. Loads of episodes. Hundreds of episodes. Absolutely free for you just to download and listen to. Yeah. And along with that podcast, you have, as Marge mentioned, her podcast as well. Bite Me, the show about edibles. So
yes, also available on all platforms.
That's right, professionals. Professionals. Yes. Hashimoto said, I like this podcast. That's cool, man. We like that people like this podcast. It's very cool.
I like that you like that people like this podcast, Macky.
No, it's getting confusing now. I was
yeah,
going to try and don't like doing the fourth way around. You know, like, and I like that, you like that, I like that, you like that, like. Yes, this podcast. Yeah, I saw this dodgy question the other day. Somebody was just taking the piss on the test, and it's like, if a car on the left turns right, and it was his right of the way because there was a space left on the left, and just went up through all this fucking long paragraph sentence thing, and it's like, which way do you have to turn, left or right? There's absolutely no fucking way you can tell. Anyway, yeah, this weed's hitting me already, as you can tell. It's delicious, though. It's delicious. So, are we ready to move on to the news already? I've got a pretty funny story I want to get straight into. Should we do it?
I think I see the one you're talking about. Let's do that one.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Come on, button, click. God damn it, I left the show notes on the screen again. Nobody look. Nobody look, the show notes are on the screen.
Oh, no, we'll look behind the curtain
Jesus,
again. My
which button
goodness.
is it there? This
Can't
one.
have that.
Stop looking at
no.
it, everybody. Stop looking at it.
Macky, we were supposed to be having like this professional intro and like.
You know?
Secret's
Well,
gone
it's not
now,
the
see?
intro anymore.
No,
right?
but it's still kind of. I don't know.
It was just a
It's
list of all the
tracked.
episodes that we've covered so far as well. And we're on episode, what's this? Episode 93 this week for the cannabis news and events.
Woo.
And of course for the Grow Guys as well. So that's a lot of episodes, man. We've managed to get everything written down all the way up to episode 100 now, everybody. So we're going to push for that 100 on the Grow Guides. But anyway, this is the cannabis news. And I do have an interesting news story that I saw, I don't know, what's the correct word for that? And I just want to make sure it's the right one. There we go. Okay, so the title begins, Cops let suspect get dressed after raiding his home for cannabis. And you read that and you're like, oh, well, that's nice of them to let a man get dressed and not be arrested with all his stuff hanging out, if you know what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
So they were very nice to let him go and get dressed. But then he ran off.
They were stupid enough to leave him alone. Yeah.
You know, it's like, all right then, mate. Yeah, but I'll read on and you'll understand what happened a little bit more. A suspect who was allowed to get dressed by police knocking on his door bolted off on foot. Charlie Cooper, 28, from Warrington, later handed himself into police and is now starting a 5-year jail sentence after admitting to cannabis cultivation and escaping lawful custody. Just like, why have you ran off, man? You know? Well, you might as well have just, if you're going to hand yourself in afterwards anyway, why have you, has he just freaked out, panicked, was like,
That's
shit,
the weird part.
now I've got
But now-
trousers on, I'm going to jump out the window. What the-
Now every other person who gets arrested naked will have to go into the station naked because
That's what I thought as well. It's like the precedent has
Yeah.
been set now. It's like, no, don't
Yes.
trust them now. Don't trust them.
that's right. Last time we did that, the guy took off.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
God, that was funny. Just imagine this guy half dressed jumping out the fucking window. What else do we have? Escaping lawful. Liverpool Crown Court heard that officers found more than £50,000. That's not weed. That's £50,000 sterling. You know, quid, English money.
Money. Yeah.
Hidden behind a headboard in his Cheshire home when they went to arrest him. 50 fucking grand. Jesus, just stashed behind it. Wow. You know, you're supposed to put it under your mattress, mate. Come on.
Yeah, that was
Or in the freezer. Yeah. Either way.
The case started last year when a large cannabis farm was found at an address in Widnes with 149 plants and a man arrested but later released on bail. His phone revealed messages suggesting he was looking after the plants for someone else, leading police to Cooper. So they arrested somebody else. But excuse me, I'm just going to drink. Dead air.
I know.
Jesus. Dry throat. So it seems as if they caught somebody that was in possession of cannabis, and then it led to this guy, right? Leading police to Cooper is what they said. So that seems to be what happened there. Cheshire Constabulary revealed while searching the property, officers discovered a safe containing a large amount of cash. Okay, along with further cash hidden behind the headboard. In total, officers recovered £52,640.77. Right, so they didn't actually. They found £2,000 in a safe and 50 grand behind the fucking headboard. And this guy, well, what was he doing, man? What the fuck?
Well, I guess they thought if they go in the safe and find $2,000, they think they got it all, right?
There you.
Yeah, probably.
Where else did we go here? Yeah, so reading out that amount of money. There's some pictures of the actual farm there. It's not really big. It's not a huge farm. Uses crap
No.
lights as well, just saying. After his arrest, Cooper was initially calm and compliant. Therefore, he was allowed to get dressed. However, he subsequently made off from officers and fled the address on foot. Despite his initial attempts to evade officers, he subsequently handed himself in due to pressure from officers. Cooper remained silent during questioning, to good tactic, but due to the evidence against him, he was charged in connection with the cannabis farm, reported the Manchester Evening News. Constable Deborah Jackson of Cheshire Police commented, "I welcome the sentence handed to Cooper and I hope that it provides reassurance to the local community. The negative impact that illegal drugs have on our communities are well known, and we're committed to doing all that we can to ensure that those responsible are held accountable for their actions, and our battle against those involved in the production and supply of illegal drug continues." Whatever, man. Whatever. If you want to hold the people responsible, don't look down, look up, man. They're the people responsible for all the damage this does to communities. Fucking idiots. Although Cooper is now behind bars, where he should be, the degenerate criminal, this is not the end. Following his lengthy custodial sentence, we will now look to proceed with the POCA. What's that one? The POCA hearing? To determine what will happen to the cash seized at his home. The Proceeds of Crime Act. Yeah, there we go. The Proceeds of Crime Act. And so anything made from the, so he's sold the weed, made money. That now that money's going to be taken and given to the police.
Yeah, that's
Essentially.
always a speculation. They're assuming that the money that they found came from that weed, but nothing you can do about it. That's the assumption they're making, and they're going to claim the money.
And of course, there's this little section where the police want you to do their job for them. I urge anyone with information about the suspected drug-related activity in their community to get in touch. You will be listened to, and we will investigate the matter. But if you get mugged and your phone gets stolen and your wallet and shit, they don't want to hear from you then. They're not going to listen to you then. Only if they can go out and fucking arrest somebody and steal 50 grand from behind their fucking headboard on their bed. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, fucking criminals.
This shouldn't affect any home growers, though, because as long as you're following the 3 rules, you should be fine. I mean,
That's
just
right.
don't
That's
tell,
right.
don't sell, and cover the smell.
I just thought this was funny with, the guy acting all nice, like, yes, officers, sorry, officers, I'm such a terrible person. Please take me in, help me. Help me not be a criminal anymore. Let me just go get my jeans on. And then he just
Classic
jumps out
case of
the window.
Open the door and the window's wide open and he's gone. I love it.
Damn. But it's just ridiculous that we're still going through this kind of thing here in the UK.
It is.
Let this guy turn this into a legitimate business, and then you'll be able to charge the fucking 30% tax. You bastards. Just an interesting one. I thought we'd start with that one because it's a little bit light-hearted and we can laugh at the guy, running down the road. It's still shit. People shouldn't have to be suffering these stupid laws like this anymore. But what do we have next? Macky, you've got a couple of news articles. You want to do one of yours first?
Yeah, and then Bubble's not here, or else he would have grabbed this one right away. But let's go ahead and start in Australia. It says, New South Wales drug law overhaul would allow 6 cannabis plants for personal use. This is the article's headlines.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. So, New South Wales has been in the news this week because they're looking at completely changing the way things are handled down there. I think they're finally admitting that the war on drugs didn't work. Imagine that. People would be allowed to grow 6 cannabis plants for personal use and give their friends pot as a gift under the proposed law being introduced by the New South Wales Parliament on Wednesday. As the government comes under more pressure to enact drug reform, the legislation would also allow people to carry up to 50 grams of cannabis in a change that the Legalise Cannabis MP Jeremy Buckingham hopes would reduce the number of Aboriginal people caught under the law, as he believes are racist. Government data obtained by Guardian Australia reveals Aboriginal people are 10 times more likely to have cannabis-related interaction with police than non-Indigenous people. It's clear that cannabis prohibition is a racist law, Buckingham said. It is clear it is being used to target young Aboriginal Australians. Now, this is the same situation we have here in the States, with Hispanics and Blacks being targeted by law enforcement. So I'm very familiar with the racist policies of cannabis. The data revealed through questions on notice to the Parliament shows that between 2020 and 2022, there were 54,173 people caught by police with cannabis. Of those, 19,232 were Aboriginal people, while First Nation people accounted for more than 35% of all interactions over the three years. Just 3.5% of New South Wales population is Aboriginal. That is crazy numbers, guys. 35% of the tickets go, or the charges go to 3.5% of the people. You can't tell me that, and look at me with a straight face, that the Aboriginal people are using cannabis at that higher of a rate than anybody else.
Yeah, that's
just
shocking,
doesn't make sense.
It is
shocking.
over a third of all interactions over the last 3 years.
Really.
That's madness, man.
It is. But unfortunately, when you give law enforcement the option of charging, this is what happens. Buckingham states that the statistics shows the laws are being used against First Nation people. In a lot of instances, this is a crime that is the first interaction First Nations people have with police, he said. Under the proposed changes, adults would be allowed to grow up to 6 plants at home, either indoors or outdoors, and could give other adults their harvest as long as it's not being sold. Again, no money changing hands here. This is just friends doing business, Buckingham will introduce the bill during the first final sittings of week of the year with the intention for it to be referred to a committee for further consideration before the government promised drug summit. They got a drug summit coming up very soon over there. The government went to the election promising to hold the drug summit at which reforms will be discussed, but the premier, Chris Minns, has repeatedly refused to outline a time frame other than saying it will happen in 2024. Earlier in this year, the government announced people who were caught with small quantities of illicit drugs for personal use would be issued fines that could be worked off by seeking help as part of a drug law overhaul.
Wow.
Advocates have welcomed the introduction of the diversion scheme, but said that the changes do not go far enough, with a group of people who took part in New South Wales' last drug summit in 1999 to gather at Parliament on Wednesday to call for urgent reform.
Okay, back in 1999, and that
was so long ago.
Yeah, it's 25 years and they haven't even looked at it in 25 years. Now, a lot's
Yeah.
happened in that. That's crazy numbers, man.
Mm-hmm.
The long-serving former Labor Premier Bob Carr said the Sydney Lord Mayor Clover Moore were among the those scheduled to attend 25 years after they took part in the event, which resulted in the creation of the state's safe injecting room. See, that's what they're saying. Last time around, they were successful in a safe injecting room. This time, they may actually have cannabis reform happening here. Man, and you know, Bubble Hawk was saying it would never happen for him, right? In the beginning of the drug summit, the catchery was courage, Carr said. I still believe that courage is vital and at this difficult area of the drug policy. Next is just talking basically about the Uniting Church, which runs a safe injecting room in King's Cross, is calling on Min's government to announce a date for its drug summit after the event on Parliament on Wednesday. So the churches and the government and the MPs are all saying, okay, let's have this summit. And they're also calling for a complete overhaul of cannabis reform. Basically, what Australia's now admitting is what a lot of other places are admitting, that the war on drugs didn't work. And it's not working, and it's not going to work. So we have to change the way things are going now. So I love what they're thinking about doing here. It's, you know, let's go ahead and change this thing out. They're not talking about putting up dispensaries here and recreational sales. They're basically they're calling it a homegrown crop. You know, you're welcome to grow it. You're welcome to give it to each other, but that's all you can do. But you're welcome to do it.
Just step in the right direction, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I
there's
love it
always more,
myself.
but yeah, home grow's the most important thing. But other than getting the medicine to the kids, you know, that's the most important thing. But,
Yeah, if that was a possibility here, home grow 6 plants and we could share with one another, I would be helping everybody I could to try and get their own home grow started so that we would have plenty of cannabis for the entire world, plenty for the entire community. Anybody who needed it could get it.
growing 6 massive plants.
6 bubble hot size monsters, you know.
Yeah.
6 4x4s full of auto flowers.
That's it. Somebody said 6 is bad for the you know, the standard grow tent size, which is like 4x4, and you put 4 plants in it. But if you're doing autos, you can just get a rotation on of like just 2 in a few weeks later, 2 more, and 2 more a few weeks later, and then just do a rotation like that. That could work, man. Yeah,
but this is also, you know, indoor outdoor too. So I mean, you can put, like I said, you know, put 4 autos outside and just let those suckers take off.
Right.
Stonewolf said, "Did you just say?" Sorry, Marge.
I said they have such a great climate, I think.
Yeah, and Stonewolf just asked there as well. Did you just say in New South Wales? And it is New South Wales. This from
it is. Yeah. It's in SW. Yes. This is where they're talking about doing it. So yeah, that would be good news for Stonewolf too. Maybe, you know.
Yeah, man. Everybody's going to move there. At least anybody in Australia is like, well, I can grow there.
Population explodes.
Yeah, ACT's already made their reforms, so now NSW is going to try and step up a little bit. So there is promise here in Australia. You know, any movement you have in that direction is always good news. And I celebrate. You know, I'm sure if Bubble Hawk was here, he'd probably be a little bit skeptical because, you know, you never say you got it till you got it.
That's true. It is true. But if they at least are talking about it.
Yeah.
After 25 years of not.
Yeah, let's just hope it doesn't take another 25 years to get it.
Right.
Fucking 1999 and shit, Jesus.
That's crazy numbers, man. They haven't even looked at policy for 25 years.
So it's like these people who
a lot has changed.
there's people who've been born after that who are old enough to smoke cannabis legally in some places. That's how fucking long that is. It's such a long time ago. 1990. It's a good year though. It's a good year, 1999. I did enjoy that year.
Yeah, Prince had a song and everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought that was a bit of a shit song, to be honest.
I know.
But anyway, yeah, good news story there. It looks like we have some good news. So we had some funny news, we had some good news. Let's have some bad news. What you got for us, Marge?
Oh, I don't know if it was as bad as you're letting on, but I
Okay.
will go to this article. Well, I mean, anyway, yes, no.
We'll see.
This is from the National Post. Canadian veterinarians left out of legal cannabis framework groups say current rules forbid vets from prescribing cannabis products, and what's available on the market isn't always safe for animals. Veterinarians say that they've been weeded out of Canada's cannabis policy after assurances that they'd be included in the legalization framework. Despite Canada allowing both medical and recreational sales of cannabis, no such legal pathway exists for animal medicine, something that Dr. Sarah Silcox, founder of the Canadian Association of Veterinarian Cannabinoid Medicine, hopes to change. We've been at this for 6 years now, engaging in the best way we know how, she told the National Post. We held dogs on Parliament Hill back in 2019. We made several trips to talk to the MPs and senators. We had a petition in the House of Commons that received sufficient signatures to warrant a response. But then the House rose before the petition closed and it just vanished. With its use becoming both socially and legally acceptable in many societies, cannabis is seeing increasing interest among veterinarians for use in everything from anxiety to managing pain. Recent studies exploring the effectiveness of non-psychoactive CBD injections to manage osteoarthritis pain in dogs found good results with minimal side effects. Results of a joint Canadian-Israeli study released in August found promising results among 6 dogs unresponsive to conventional treatments that showed significant drops in pain levels and an increase in activity. Other studies suggest promise in using cannabis for treating epilepsy in dogs. Dr. Ian Sandler is chair of the Canadian Veterinary Medical Association's National Issues Committee and agrees that there's a lot of potential for veterinary cannabis. Veterinarians should be able to access and use these products on a case-by-case basis, he said. We think that there is need for these products to be used safely and legally within the veterinary market, but unfortunately, we've been really blocked out of this process from day one. Animals have an endocannabinoid system similar enough to humans to react in similar ways to cannabis. While dogs' brains have more CB1 receptors than humans and are more sensitive to its effects, neither CBD nor THC, the psychoactive cannabinoid found in recreational weed, are toxic to dogs. In 2019, both the CAVCM and the Canadian Veterinary Medical Association held meetings with the Federal Health Minister office over veterinary cannabis, which Silcox said ended on a positive note. The representative at the time was quite sympathetic to the position that the current regulations put us in and acknowledged that it was no doubt an oversight, and that when the cannabis regulations were initially drafted, she said, explaining that they were told that veterinarian use would be part of the ongoing policy review. So we submitted letters in advance. Those submissions, she said, were never acknowledged. We have seen tremendous growth in the amount of published research looking at the use of cannabinoids in treating animals. We even have a full textbook on cannabis in veterinary medicine, she says. Oftentimes, these pets are already on multiple anticonvulsant medications and yet still having breakthrough seizures. And just like with people, pet families want to know that they're being given the options of all the available treatments out there. Vets discourage owners from blindly feeding pets cannabis products from dispensaries. As products such as edibles aren't meant for animal consumption, many contain compounds toxic to animals, including chocolate and artificial sweeteners like xylitol, which can be deadly for dogs even in small amounts. Veterinarians can utilize all types of human products off-label, including some very significant ones like hydromorphone and other opiates and other anesthetics. We use fentanyl for pain in pets, Sandler said.
There you rather use fentanyl than cannabis? Jesus.
Right. So the fact that we are not able to authorize the use of cannabinoid-based products through the medical route is the first time we've not been aligned with our human prescribing counterparts, which is very, very strange. A statement from Health Canada said veterinarian prescription drugs containing cannabis are subject to the same review as any other pharmaceutical. Health Canada scientists will then review the evidence to determine whether the risks associated with the drugs are acceptable in light of its potential benefit, the statement read. The statement also referred to a July 2022 notice to stakeholders inviting submissions on potential regulatory gaps for CBD containing non-prescription health products for both humans and non-humans. Health Canada considered veterinary medicine during the development of cannabis regulations, specifically in relation to the study and approval of veterinary medicines containing cannabis, the statement read. On October 17th, 2018, Health Canada amended the human and veterinarian prescription drug list to include phytocannabinoids to ensure appropriate oversight of health products containing cannabis that make authorized health claims. I just lost my spot. Current regulations state that both natural and veterinary health products must contain no more than 10 milligrams, 10 parts per million THC, and no isolated or concentrated phytocannabinoids. Accordingly, any health product containing phytocannabinoids outside of these exceptions are classified as a prescription drug, Health Canada's statement read. Meanwhile, Silcox remains that veterinarians should be the best resource for pet owners interested in treating their pets with cannabinoids. I've had clients get unsolicited advice from bud tenders in those retail shops, often grossly inaccurate, she said. I've had clients say that they want to purchase a product I recommend and were told it would kill their pet. I've had clients be refused sale when they mentioned it was for a pet. As well, industry turbulence and inconsistent stock available store to store and even province to province makes it uncertain if a known good product will be available as time goes on. When we look at these things from a national level, it's not the same in every province, she says. I have a colleague in the Yukon, and they have a small handful of 3 or 4 products that they can choose from that would be suitable for use in pets. That, she says, often drives owners to the illicit market, where standards and consistency fall short of the legal products. There is robust black market products for pet products. We never know what's in those products because they're not regulated. Dr. Sandler said veterinarians should be the last word on discussing and prescribing cannabinoids to pets. As healthcare practitioners for animals in Canada, we are the best individuals to really assess the use of those products. And I found this article very interesting just because it's something I never really considered before. But when I worked in the dispensary, we did have people coming in all the time looking for CBD products in particular for their animals.
Mhm.
And I didn't personally feel particularly confident recommending stuff, but I didn't realize that veterinarians really don't have any kind of aren't part of the legal framework to
Yeah,
prescribe.
it's like they
stuff
can
with
only
animals.
have these medicines before it's being tested. You know what I'm saying? They're testing them on the animals, kind of thing, because they're savages. You know, it's just it's shocking again. Just more things like the cannabis plant can do. You know, yeah, and it never ceases to amaze me how many different things this plant can do, and the way it's
Mhm.
restricted. You know, it can even help animals with their medical needs now as well. You know, it's just crazy, man. How many more things can this plant do?
I
It's
know
just
several
sad.
people that do use like CBD products and stuff for their animals for like arthritic pain and stuff like
Mhm,
that, and they find that they work really well.
mhm,
But it's
Yeah,
I guess, where do you get the advice
that's
when you're
yeah,
hard to come by, isn't it?
mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
I know down here we have a lot of CBD type shops, and they are that are created because of the farm bill. It's all this hemp derived stuff, and those people do frequently sell dog and cat related type CBD, or even 1 type stuff, and it's supposedly formulated for the animals, but the prices, oh my gosh! If you think that human edibles are expensive, you should see what they're charging for pet stuff, because they know
Yeah.
people will pay it. They're worried about,
Mhm.
compassion thing. People will pay anything for their pets. It's like,
Right.
a 10 pack of the CBD edibles for dogs would cost you $80.
Fuck it
Wow.
hell.
Yeah, really. And this, a package for in the same store of edibles meant for humans would probably be 3 times that size for the same money.
That's
So,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Man.
It is. Well, I mean, they're shop owners. They know people will pay it. That's just, that's unfortunate the way it is. But yeah, I've actually tried to contact some veterinarians to try and get an interview about cannabis and stuff. And I've never gotten a response from any of them. And
Yeah,
now I
it'd be a
know
good one.
why. Yeah. Now I know why, because they're not allowed to talk about it.
That's lame.
Yeah. Yeah. And who knows what kind of consequences there are if they do, talk about it the way they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
just
found
checking down. Sorry, Marge.
I was just gonna say, because they're like some of those considerations, like it was saying in the article, I didn't realize that xylitol was deadly to dogs. That would be
xylitol?
like a pretty xylitol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
what is that?
a sweetener,
It's like it's an artificial sweetener or some kind
Oh,
of
right.
sweetener that you'd see it in a lot of like
chewing
probably
gums.
gummies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like medicated or regular ones in the grocery store. It's a pretty
Okay.
commonly used sweetener.
Yeah.
That yeah.
Well, I knew about the chocolate thing, but I mean,
Yeah, I was aware of that.
yeah, I mean, and I don't even know what is exactly in those edibles that they're selling for dogs, but I do know that they were supposedly formulated for pets. Let's say they probably don't have things like chocolates and sugars and other things like that you don't want to give your animals. But still, how do you know what dose? You just got to go by what somebody's telling you, bro science, huh?
It's the same as you do with people,
Right.
isn't it? Just little bits until you try and find a level where they're comfortable.
Start low and work your way up, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Just
It's
sadly, the dogs can't really, or cats or whatever you're using it for, can't really communicate the same way that a person can.
You can tell by the
Yeah.
look in their eyes, though. You know.
Right.
Man, there was I seen one of the Instagram reels where a dog ate a lady's edibles. Man, I sent it to you, didn't I, Marge? Remember I sent it to you a while back, and the dog was just fucking wasted, man.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. You don't want to, you don't want to get your dog fucking mashed up. You're just trying to medicate them, not get them wasted. So you don't go too heavy with the dose and things like that. And just be very careful when you're dosing pets, man. Try and ask a vet.
They're pretty sensitive to THC as well. Probably more
Oh, yeah.
sensitive. They have more CBD1 receptors, so they're more sensitive than we would be.
Damn.
And of course, it's going to depend on the size of the dog, maybe possibly the breed. Who knows what else? But
yeah, and while I haven't heard it from a specific veterinarian, I've been told that animals are sensitive to THCA, and we aren't. So if they eat your raw bud, they could get screwed up.
Right.
Some is yet to be figured out, isn't it? It's not cool that we don't know enough about this kind of stuff yet.
Now, if anybody out there, any of our listeners knows a vet that would be willing to give us an interview, maybe give us some facts, would love it.
Yeah. That would be a good interview.
It would be.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Just interesting. The dogs are very sensitive to THC, and raw buds will get them high. Yeah, says Billy. That's what you just said, pretty much, any monkey.
Pretty much, that's what I've been told. You know, I've never seen it. I've read a lot of stories, and I point blank asked a couple of people, and the answer came back like, yeah, dogs can get high off a raw bud. So
That's probably why a lot of people go for the CBD products too, versus the THC. But
yeah, so we got another couple of stories here. One of them is kind of related to this, with the UK CBD industry. You know, because we have a thriving industry for cannabis here in the UK, just not for you. Just not for you. Have to be a Tory government friend. Oh, I'm just getting a beverage here. Beverage being delivered, everybody. That means everybody should take a drink. Don't worry, I'll edit this bit out. Don't worry, everybody.
Where's my beverage delivery? Doggone it.
yeah, I don't have one either.
Yeah, that's not cool. It's not cool.
No.
You gotta
my
send
Diet Coke
sneaky WhatsApp message to the wife and be like, "Bring me drink, please. Thirsty. Got dry throat. Had to mute the mic. To cough. Need drink. Help. Help like that.
Need drink.
That's right. There we go. Don't worry. I'll edit all that out, everybody. Don't worry. Professional. But where were we? Right. We were talking about the CBD industry here in the UK, which is fucked because everything's fucked in the UK because you can't spell fucked without UK. You know, catchphrase of the show. We have here UK's CBD industry poised for takeoff. FSA clears skies for new products. So even though you're not allowed to grow your own CBD and things like that, everybody, you're not allowed to do it. But there are some companies here in the UK that are just about to make a shitload of money from CBD. So let's read in. Quickly send a little bit of congratulations out here to what's the name? British Cannabis is the name of this company. congratulations, British Cannabis. Congratulations for
Congratulations,
your
yes.
your newfound business endeavor. You know that we would all like to also take part in, but we're not allowed to. You assholes. All right.
We can't
So
afford the
you have
price of the
fucking
bribe.
fun. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have
Mhm.
fun with your CBD products. I'd like to make some CBD products. That would be super cool. Oh, you're not allowed to, Macky. You don't have any Tory government friends, so you just shut the fuck up. You know. But anyway, let me read on with this article here for a little bit. British Cannabis, the UK's innovator in cannabis ingredient production, has submitted an Article 4 application as a strategic move set to reignite the industry. This submission paves way for businesses to place new CBD products on the UK market after being restricted from doing so for nearly 4 years. The FSA guidance in 2020 stated products launched after the February cut-off date are not allowed to be sold until full permission is granted. This new development is now signaling a major shift in market accessibility. So yeah, they're gonna send some new CBD products out there. It just frustrates me. It's like, and it's British cannabis as well. So it feels, and I think that they're related to British Sugar, who is like Theresa May's husband. Theresa May is one of our former prime ministers. You know, over the last few weeks, we've had a lot of different prime ministers, you know. But Theresa May was one of those, and her husband is affiliated with British Sugar, who is also affiliated with British Cannabis, I think, AGW Pharmaceuticals. You know, they all mix together in their crony capitalistic circles over there, just making sure that we can't get involved in the market like they do. It just fucking, it's disgusting. Confidence in this non-level status of their product, which uses cannabis as its single ingredient, was reinforced following communications with the Food Standards Agency. The FSA stated that it is not novel, as there is a history of consumption prior to 1997, and therefore an Article 4 would not be needed. Nevertheless, British Cannabis trademark, got a little TM above the name there, has requested the FSA to officially ratify this opinion and make it legally binding, demonstrating their commitment to compliance and legal certainty. So this company is requesting that they change the law somehow to make it easier for them to get cannabis products involved in the market. Renowned for harnessing a traditional extraction technique, British Cannabis stands out in the industry. Their method capitalizes on a non-selective extraction process designed to maintain the integrity of the entire spectrum of cannabis constituents. Okay, so they must be talking about full extract cannabis oil there, right? This results in a superior product that promises an array of benefits and meets the compliance requirements for THC content, adhering to the Home Office's recent legislation plans to limit THC content in CBD products to 50 micrograms per serving, enhancing the company's market readiness for the expected changes. So the government are passing laws that benefits this particular company, it seems.
Nice. You know,
Yeah.
how do I get
Mhm.
how do we get our laws in there to allow homegrown?
Oh,
You know?
yeah. Not for us, Monkey. Not for us.
Okay,
It's
well, I'm
not.
just, you know, I thought since they're giving favors and passing laws, I mean, we might as well go ahead and ask.
But you see, this is the subtle corruption that we have here in the UK. You know, it's Victoria Adkins' Midster for being a Tory husband that grows cannabis for British Sugar. Thank you, Hashimoto. I know it was something like that. Victoria Atkins was the drug czar or something. So she
Okay.
kept cannabis illegal in the UK for quite a while because her husband had shares in one of the companies
God.
that was growing it. It's just, you know, you don't even have to look very hard nowadays to try and find a level of corruption in government. It's just
sounds like
blatant.
Blatant UK playlist here is like, oh, this is how we do it. You know, how do you put it? Rules for thee, not for me.
That's it. That's it. An
Right.
old British saying, that is. You know? I'll read on with this article. Verifying the ingredients as non-novel will provide a strong foundation for companies looking to purchase a primary ingredient to create CBD oils, capsules, and gummies, innovate food and drink products, or collaborate with British Cannabis to develop future CBD brands. It assures them of the ingredient's authenticity, safety, and compliance with regulations. This ruling will also aid in building trust amongst consumers who are becoming increasingly discerning about the origin and quality of the products they choose. and this is a quote from somebody. We believe our cold-pressed cannabis ingredient has the potential to revolutionize the CBD industry, says David Rolson, managing director of British Cannabis. See, I said British there, so he didn't put the T in it. British Cannabis.
British.
Achieving British
very
water. British water. Achieving non-novel status through the Article 4 application will open doors for collaborations and partnerships, encouraging innovative CBD brands to produce superior products backed by a secure and reliable ingredient. Blah, 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 blah. It's
Yada, yada, yada.
Yay, industry.
Same. Yeah. Thank you, government. Thank you. The last little bits here. There's only 2 paragraphs. The submission of the Article 4 application represents a significant milestone in British cannabis trademarks commitment. Not cannabis in the UK, not as a whole, cannabis from Britain, not that British cannabis. It represents a significant milestone in British Cannabis, the company.
Corporation,
Right?
yes.
Yes,
Right.
TM. Not for me, not for you, UK listeners. Don't get it fooled when they use words like that. It's not
But you're
for
British.
us.
No.
Yeah. So represents a significant milestone in British cannabis's commitment to the advancing of the cannabis industry and shaping its future. Their future, not your future. The company remains
Right.
dedicated to delivering exceptional cannabis ingredients at the highest quality standards. To request a copy, to request a copy of the non-novel CBD products catalog from British Cannabis or discuss the needs of your brands and customers, please contact info@britishcannabis.org.
Now, you do realize you just read an ad for British Cannabis the entire time, right?
Yeah, but our listeners ain't gonna fuck with these people. Our
No.
listeners know better. It was just the last little bit here as well. About British Cannabis trademark, not British Cannabis, but the company British Cannabis. As a leading UK provider of high-quality cannabis ingredients, CBD supplement brands, and white label manufacturing services, the British Cannabis mission is to deliver innovative, I keep having trouble with that word, innovative, safe, and effective cannabis products that enhance well-being. With our cold-pressed non-novel CBD products division, we are committed to utilizing traditional extraction methods to preserve the full spectrum of beneficial compounds found in cannabis plants. So there we go. Doesn't that sound good, everybody?
Yeah, I'm
Sounds
ready to go and
great.
join. I'm on
Brilliant
board with them
news.
right now, man. That's great.
British Cannabis, everybody. Yay, British Cannabis.
Congratulations to
Yay.
British I almost said British capitalism, but it's the same thing, really.
Jesus. And you're just not allowed to grow a couple of plants in your spare room,
Mhm.
These guys can go and start off their new company and be innovative.
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 It's, man, it just takes the piss. So I think eventually you're going to be able to buy the CBD oils from these guys and then make your own products with that oil. It seems as if that's the step they're trying to head into.
Yeah, that's
And-
what TG, the company TG was working for, was doing.
Yeah,
is
that's
they
right,
were
yeah.
extracting and then they would just sell it to whoever wants to. They didn't make the cosmetics or the medicines or anything like that. They just basically extracted,
Mhm.
refined.
So just interesting. I'd like to see like the list of people who are shareholders in this company, who runs this company. What kind of affiliation they have with the people who are in government who are passing these laws. It's just the corruption, man. It's rife, and so we don't do anything about it anymore. Nobody does anything about the corruption, and nobody. It's not like anybody doesn't care, because I'm sure we all care. But things are so hectic right now. There seems to be just like a 2-week cycle of anger. Oh, you fuck's sake! 2 weeks.
That's
You
so
know what I
funny.
mean?
We've been doing that around my house too.
Oh man,
Comes up a
It goes
lot.
everywhere, doesn't it?
Yeah.
it's like you're not supposed to tell anybody about listen to High and Homegrown. Just your fellow smokers.
They just say 2 weeks.
There will be signs. If you just randomly walking down the road and
right.
somebody say 2 weeks, it means they're probably a listener of this show. If you ever need to know for sure, just say to somebody 2 weeks. 2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks. I knew it. I knew.
I knew it was you.
God damn. So yeah, more corruption out of the UK there, everybody.
Yeah, man.
You know, we'll see where it heads in the future. And I just never really have much hope for what's going on over here anymore. But I hate to think like that as well, because I know I rant about this country a lot, but it's not the country that I dislike, it's the government running this beautiful country into the fucking ground, man. That's what disgusts me. I love England. This is the best country in the world, and you're just seeing it being abused and taken advantage of by a few greedy people who have managed to slither their way into the top positions of government, and it's fucking disgusting that we're allowing this to happen, man, and that frustrates me. This is a beautiful country, and I know I'll complain about it a lot, but you know, I wouldn't want to be in any other country. The States looks nice in places, but it's not England, is it? We just need to sort out this fucking corrupt government that's just bending us over and fucking us, man. But yeah,
everybody says that. I love the States, it's not England. Thank God for that.
But yeah, just keep growing your own shit, everybody, and just they're corrupt as fuck, man. Let's just not get involved with these government motherfuckers. Keep your head down, grow your weed, and carry on. That's all you can do.
Yeah, Gilbert said, keep calm and grow weed.
Keep calm and make hash. Also a good option.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, do both. Do both.
But you got to do the
Calm
first
and
one.
make
then the
cannabis
second.
butter.
There you go. Yeah.
we need to contact fucking THTC and get some t-shirts made with this shit on, innit? Keep calm and smoke hash, you know. Right, we have some history. Is this history news?
No, I'd call it more science news than history news, really.
Okay,
you know?
well, we'll leave the audience to decide there. Is this history or science news? Let us know at the end, everybody.
All right. Well, you'll see exactly why we're going here, because it kind of this is an interesting article to me, and it kind of opens some doors. So let's take a look. It says traces of cannabis found in 3 modern human bones for the first time.
Dun, dun, dun.
A 17th century hospital crypt in Milan, Italy, has yielded the first archaeological evidence of cannabis psychoactive components in human bones. Okay, so the first evidence of cannabis discovered in archaeological skeletal remains comes from bones from people buried under a hospital in Milan, Italy in the 17th century. Molecules of medicinal plants can be detected by toxicological analysis. See what you're doing to me, Macky?
Don't blame me. That's the cannabis.
Okay. even centuries after death of an individual, says Gaia Giordano at the University of Milan in Italy.
That wasn't a bad attempt. That was
it was the best I could do, man. I'm not great with names. You know how that goes.
We're all the same.
All right, give it a shot, Macky. How would you go for that one?
Gaia Giordano.
Giordano.
That's obviously Giordano. Yeah, it's Italian, isn't it? Giordano.
Yeah. That's better. It's not Giordano. I love it.
Cazzi in culo non fa figli, ma fa male, zero pili.
Okay. Okay, so back to the story. It says she and her colleagues discovered molecules of THC and CBD, the psychoactive components of cannabis, within the thigh bones of a young man and a middle-aged woman who had been buried between 1638 and 1697. Such molecules can be trapped and preserved after being absorbed into the bloodstream and traveling through blood vessels into the bone tissue. Giordano and her colleagues extracted bone samples from the remains of 9 people. The individuals were buried in a crypt at Milan's Grada Hospital in the 17th century, and the researchers confirmed this using radiocarbon dating. Then they performed toxicological analysis by powdering and preparing the bone samples so that each individual chemical compound could be separated and purified within a liquid solution. This led them to use a mass spectrometry to identify the chemical components. The researchers did not mention any of the cannabises in Legalise Hospital's records or medical compounds. So Giordano said the people may have been self-medicating or using cannabis recreationally instead of receiving it as a prescribed treatment. The study is unique in that this toxicology method to analyze human remains is at an archaeological site, said Jim, at the University of Chinese Academy of Science in Beijing. I think their studies will open a new window for researching cannabis consumption in ancient times. Yang's own research previously found chemical traces of cannabis on wooden braziers in a tomb dating back 2,500 years. And cannabis has an even longer history of becoming humanity's favorite weed, starting with its domestication around 12,000 years ago. Meanwhile, Giordano and her colleagues are exploring their toxicological search to other substances such as cocaine and in more modern remains. Now, what this excited me about is, we've always speculated, we think that XYZ emperor or XYZ historical figure may have used cannabis. Well, now, as this tool becomes more and more developed and becomes more and more accurate and more sensitive, we'll be able to go back into some of these fossilized remains and find out how far back humanity has actually touched cannabis. So this kind of excites me because, everybody keeps saying this is, not everybody, but some of the anti-cannabis crowd talks about how cannabis is a new thing. And the pro-cannabis crowd said, no, man, it's been here forever. Now we're going to actually have a tool to find out when it was used, how many people used it, and how long ago they used it. So this is going to be really innovative, in my opinion, to filling out the history book for this wonderful plant.
I just
Yeah,
don't get
it's
it
super
where.
interesting.
Sorry, Marge.
I was just saying this stuff is super interesting, and then they'll start to look into like how it was being used back then too, which is also just adding to the interesting research. I think I'd love to see studies like this.
Yes.
Well, first off, we need to collect all of these skeletal remains and we need to throw them in a jail cell because these criminals consuming cannabis. But it also says traces of cannabis found in pre-modern human bones for the first time. That's the title. But it doesn't mention anything about that, right? A 17th century hospital crypt. So that's 17th century is the 1600s. That's
that's considered pre-modern.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about the tech they had in 1638.
Right. I see what you mean. You say
Hammer,
pre-modern.
nails.
It was from a
fire.
crypt in a hospital, but they were probably using like
I'm
I don't
thinking
know.
when they
stones
say
and-
modern
bloodletting.
anatomically human, when they say that's what I
Right.
was thinking, and we've been
They're
around for a
using
couple of hundred
colloidal
thousand years. or
silver.
Yeah, there were several different versions of this article bouncing around the web, and some of them had a lot more details and technical jargon in it. One of the articles did mention, this was interesting, is that at the time that these people would have been living, the church actually discouraged the use of any type of cannabis because, well, if it allows you to expand your mind, that takes away from the church's need, unfortunately. So these
Right.
people were actually using cannabis against, or say, apart from church edict and apart from public. This kind of like we do. It was against the law, or wasn't really against the law back then. Maybe, who knows?
But
But it
frowned
was
upon, perhaps.
exactly. But they
Yeah.
still used it anyway.
Right.
Remember that High Times article we seen where they were showing weed off from the 70s and it looks really bad.
Oh
Imagine
yeah.
how bad the weed was back in the 17th century.
maybe with fire, we don't know.
Yeah, maybe
That's
it's
true.
Maybe
bullshit.
it was
Yeah.
just like lost knowledge along the way. So you had
Yeah.
the weed in the 70s, but in the 1670s, a different story.
Yeah, in the great, the Great Plague, that's when we lost all the really good cannabis too.
Which
I
one? man?
mean,
Which one?
Right. Yeah.
But also, what was mentioned in here that also stood out to me? Oh man,
it's a good
It's
article though.
completely
It's
gone.
just
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when they first were playing around with DNA testing and being able to identify objects that people used or something like that with DNA testing. And at first it was like, well, we don't have a big enough sample, but now they're actually being able to go back and actually test something that you could grab a glass and they could say that that glass has your DNA on it from touching it. You don't have to even drink from it anymore. So as the technology develops and this particular test that we're talking about here for cannabis becomes more and more sensitive and more refined, I suspect we'll be able to get a lot more information out of these things.
Yeah, but they said here as well. That's what stood out to me, where they said they started domesticating it around 12,000 years ago, and they say only 10,000 years ago is when civilization really began. Allegedly, it might be a different time because that's when we started doing agriculture to harvest wheat to make beer. Allegedly, that was the initial story. Now they're saying 12,000 years because there was domesticating cannabis. Interesting.
Well, we have mummies, pretty old mummies. I mean, we've got Egyptian mummies. We've got very different.
They're like 4,000 years old though.
Well, yeah, but we could test those bones to see if there are traces of cannabis into those. You would think that if hey, look, if I'm the emperor of Egypt, I'm the pharaoh. Of course, I'm going to have access to cannabis.
And cocaine as well. Even though cocaine was over on South America, there was evidence of cocaine being in mummies as well. But it's like, how the fuck did they get hold of that?
Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering, if we start finding other human remains with bones in it, as long as the bones are not fossilized too far or something like that, maybe we'll be able to test. Be interesting to see how far back our lineage goes in a relationship with this plant.
It's going to be like 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know how like we evolved alongside the tools, and then the tools took over. It's going to be like that with cannabis. Like cannabis was just farming humans all this time.
First baby was born right next to the cannabis sprout. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like, this one sprouted, Do I take the humidity dome off now?
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Well, somebody mentioned in the chat there, what was that? I saw something. I think it was from John Finnegan. He said he was an Albanian caveman, which loosely ties into our last story that we have.
Oh, okay.
From the UK.
Nice segue.
It was pretty good. Very fucking pro. This has been a professional episode, everybody. Don't forget to hit that like button for the amount of effort we put into to contain the level of professionalism all the way through here. Okay, because it's Christmas. This is what you're getting for Christmas. All right, we're going back to normal next week. You said
the C word.
Oh shit! Oh, smoke! Everybody smoke!
Fire this thing up, man.
Yeah, smoke and drink. Come on, everybody. Quick smoke break before we move on to this next news article. Holding you in suspense here for retention. Nice. Hear the lighter. I'll edit it out, everybody. Don't worry. It's okay. I just don't want to get him concerned, just want everybody to be chilling, Right. Excuse me.
Good hit, huh?
Oof. Yeah. Delicious.
Delicious.
But yeah, so this article here, it starts off with the cannabis farm epidemic drastically increased the number of Albanians imprisoned in Britain. And this is something that we covered last week, where there's people leaving Albania to come to the UK. And that guy even dropped his university degree. He had 1 year left on it, and he was like, yeah, I'm not going to make any money out of this, though. I'm going to go to the UK and grow weed to make a shitload of money. And apparently the amount of cannabis farms and prosecutions against Albanians has gone up 4 times, quadrupled, man. Yeah, so it's not just make-believe,
Yep.
This is actually happening. So I'll read some of this article. An epidemic of cannabis farms has led to an increase in the number of imprisoned Albanians, an investigation has revealed. More than 100 illegal Albanian immigrants have been sentenced to more than 300 years in prison in just 3 months after being recruited by organised crime gangs to serve the rapidly growing number of cannabis farms. 3/4, 77, of the 101 Albanians... This is a little bit too close to Dalmatians, right?
Okay.
101 Dalmatians, it's like somebody needs to make a comedy movie about this. 101 Albanians. So 3/4, 77 of the 101 Albanians jailed between August and October this year. So it's just a few months. It's not even a long amount of time. They were convicted of gang-run cannabis-related offences across England and Wales, according to analysis of the cases by The Telegraph. The number of punishments is 4 times the norm for Albanians. Many of the illegal immigrants were recruited by gangs after a government crackdown on black economy work made it difficult for them to find work. That's a shutting down of the legacy market, attempting to. They still haven't learned, these government folks, that process is not going to fix anything. But they keep trying. They keep spending taxpayer money, just throwing it into a black hole, and it just scoops up all this fucking money because it's not doing any good, is it? They prosecute people, and then that spot is filled within a few hours by somebody else. But you all know this, preaching to the choir. I'll carry on. Ministers have tripled fines for bosses who employ illegal immigrants to up to £60,000 per worker in a move designed to make the practice so economically damaging that it could put them out of business. A police operation targeting cannabis farms this summer is also involved officers seizing up to 130 million pounds of cannabis plants. Now, I don't think that's it's confusing here. I can see where the confusion comes in, Monkey.
Yes.
Because the word in here, it also involved seizing over 130 million pounds. They don't have the pound symbol, so I don't think that's currency. I think they're talking like that's 130 million pounds of cannabis, but that's like that's ridiculously too much cannabis. Surely,
That's
you
a
know
lot
what
of
I mean?
weed.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
80 kilos.
A lot.
Yeah, no, 80 million kilos. Yeah, they must mean pounds, but didn't know how to find the pound on their keyboard.
I'm on a
Just
different
press
article because
shift
I
and
couldn't
3.
open yours, but I'm
Oh,
on a different
right.
copy of it, and my copy actually does have pound sterling signs. So yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's going to be the monetary value then of cannabis planted and arrested almost 1,000 people. More than 180,000 plants have been discovered in raids in England and Wales. And this is just over the last few months, remember, everybody. This is just between August and October, did they say. So it's not even very long. Operation Millie targeted illicit crops, which police believe are a cash cow for organised crime gangs. They are. You don't need to just believe it, police. If you don't know that by now, you're not doing a very good job with investigation. The cash cow for the organised crime gangs, OCGs is what they call them, who are also involved in other offences such as money laundering to launder the money from the sales of the cannabis. Come on, and Class A drug smuggling and violence. In the last 5 years, Albanian gangs have prioritised the cannabis cultivation market, usurping the Vietnamese as well as importing their hydroponic expertise into growing plants to Albania and Britain and using illegal immigrants as gardeners. And as I mentioned before on the show as well, we used to have this with the Vietnamese. The Vietnamese would come over from Vietnam, and if they were ever caught growing a shitload of cannabis, they would just go back to Vietnam and you'd never hear from them again. They wouldn't even suffer any consequences, which they shouldn't. They're not really doing anything wrong. They're just growing cannabis, but they'll get away with it, and this is why they would come over. And now it's been replaced by Albanians, so Albanians are doing it instead. The number of Albanians crossing the channel in 2022 in small boats rose from 12,301 from 800 in 2021. So you can see there's a substantial difference there. More than a quarter of the 45,755 total arrivals. Among the prisoners this summer was Nard Nidri, who's 34, who entered the UK illegally last summer and lived in Birmingham before moving to Swansea, where he worked in a car wash before being recruited to a cannabis farm. So it's not like he got here and went straight to the farm. He's had numerous jobs before he got hooked up with a cannabis farm job. He was one of 4 gardeners jailed for a total of 6 years in August after police arrested them at a property in Neath, South Wales, where 2 rooms and a loft had been adapted and isolated to grow street value plants of £85,000. Something like industry. This is the little subtitle they have there. Sentencing them, Judge Geraint Walters said the cannabis farm run by Albanian criminal gangs has reached epidemic levels and, in his view, had turned into an industry. He suggested authorities should look at the rental house sector, noting that while so-called cannabis farmers often appeared in court, landlords and others who received money from renting properties used for growing operations rarely did. They did this.
Sounds like now they're going to go up to landlords, huh?
Well, it's I'm just looking at the way that sentence was written. Random, full stop, no capital letter. So, weird. But we won't get into that. Yeah, I always point out these mistakes. But anyway, other Albanians have worked for gangs to pay off debts. Artinez Shehu, 20, was jailed for a year after working in a cannabis farm in the Norfolk Broads to clear what he claimed was a $2,500 debt he owed to organised crime gang to pay for a medical operation for his father. Judge Andrew Shaw told Shehu that the £225,000 cannabis operation was a sophisticated organization which had all the earmarks of a serious organized crime. The message needs to get out that exploitation by organized criminals is not a get out of jail free card, he said. Albanian gangs moved to cannabis because it's very, very low risk. Turned out to be good profit due to high demand. You know, because we do love weed here in the UK. Just letting you know. Britain's consumed 240 tons of drugs worth 2.4 billion in 2021, and it does not require dangerous cross-border transport because it is grown domestically, according to the National Crimes Agency. This article goes on. So it's the last paragraph here. This week, James Cleverly, the Home Secretary, signed a new deal with Albania to support a fast-track deportation and anti-immigration deal, which has seen crossings by Albanians cut by 90% this year. So there we go.
Well,
Sorry,
I've
I've just got a itchy throat again.
not a problem. I said, I've heard many times from you that the Albanian gangs were running all of this stuff like that, and that's what this article is saying.
Mhm.
It's like that's who's doing all the growing, not all of it, but a good bit of it. So,
Yeah, and that's
It makes
just,
sense too. We've done a ton of stories with that over like the last several months where it's been Albanians who've been getting caught and arrested.
yeah, man, it's bad, but it's not the
Yeah.
only people doing it as well. You know, it's just the Albanians now. As I said, it was the Vietnamese, and I'm sure in 5 years' time it's going to be somebody else unless they legalize and regulate it properly.
correct.
It's just the way it has to be, and it's just shocking that we're still going through this. Like, every week we report on stories like this, and it's like the only way we're going to fix this is by properly legalizing and regulating. Can we try that one? No, for the last 50 years or so, you've tried this method and it hasn't worked. Can we try something else now, please? It's a farce.
Yeah,
man.
something a little different, I think, would be wise.
Mm.
Not the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over
Yeah.
and over and over again.
And expecting different
Exactly.
results.
Expecting a different result. Yeah. Yeah.
It's also the definition of shit, and that's our government. Shit. God damn. I know we're going to have a general election coming soon, everybody. And you're going to hear me get political then, you know. We haven't had a general election in the UK here since we've had this podcast. You know, so you hear me when we get to the American elections. You know, I love that shit. That's my sport, man. That's my blood
It
sport.
is that stuff,
you know?
I hate it, man. I live here.
Yeah.
Man,
It's a little
UK
different when you
election.
have to
Yeah,
live with
yeah.
results.
When I have to live with the results, exactly.
But let's just hope that things change soon. And I wonder what happens then. You know, when it's finally legalized and regulated here in the UK, then what happens to all the Albanian gangs? You know,
Well, I think you can look at it at the U.S. and Canada and realize that even when you legalize it, you're not going to get rid 100% of the legacy market. So they'll still be there. They'll just be doing things a little differently.
yeah. Yeah, man. So that's all the news we have for this week. That's all the news articles. Some good stories there, you know, some good news, some bad news, some funny news. Yeah, so if you do ever get busted, it's a waste of time trying to run away with your trousers on, you know, with no
I'm
shoes.
I'm hoping Australia has a new legal area. So that was good news to hear that they're going to introduce that bill there. So
You know,
let's hope
if
it
they
goes well.
legalize, it's going to be worth the risk of paying a visit. You know, there's going to be the spiders and the snakes and the chlamydia-ridden fucking koalas. But, but you know, it'll be worth the risk if you can get some weed over there.
Depends on how good the weed is, though. No.
I know, no doubt it'll be good. We'll just go visit Bubble Hawk and be like, well, if we can fucking ever get in touch with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him that Macky wants to try out one of your fuck around and find out gummies.
Oh God.
That's for the brave.
Yeah.
That would be a brave. Yeah, that's like ayahuasca. Yeah. You ready for this one?
10,000
that would be
miles from home.
psychedelic.
Hit this shit. Jesus.
Psychedelic event.
So is there any forum news? We still have the Patreon light to give away, the HLG 700. I've had a busy weekend, so we haven't been able to get that draw done, but that will be happening in the next couple of days. Maybe tomorrow. We just need to find half hour free when we can do a stream on the evening to do the wheel spin and pick out who the winner is. So that will be happening soon. But you got us a new comp up and running, right, Macky?
Yeah, it was quite impromptu, kind of started up there. Question was asked basically on the site, anybody up for 12-12 grow challenge? We threw some rules together real fast. And so we have it up and running right now. We're at Percys. 12-12 photo period grow challenge. So you start from C 12-12 and you grow it all the way out. Now the rules are over at Percys. There is no one specific criteria that we're going to be judging your grow by. It's going to basically be people's choice kind of situation like that. It's a couple of pictures and a write-up about what your intent was for the grow, and we'll let the people decide which one of them is the best 12-12 run. I think we got so far about 6 people that are going to be playing in this one, but I think we're going to have more before it's over. Deadline, you start anytime you want. The deadline for pictures is March 5th. So, I mean, there's your time frame, 12-12, get it all done, get the pictures out. Don't have to have it chopped. Just got to have your pictures up and on the comp for voting by the 5th of March. So big prize on this one is going to be a specially made monkey pipe that's visible only at Percys. This is a 5-bowl revolver pipe.
Damn, I've seen that one. That's the shit.
It is. Now, the only thing about it is because we don't want to drag in everybody from the outside trying to come over there and grab Percys prizes. You had to be a member yesterday in order to enter. Yes. So if you were a member as of December 2nd, there's no minimums or anything like that. You want to play? Go over to the thread, take a look. Real simple.
Oh, so there we go.
Should be fun.
Yeah, man. Any other news? I think that's all of the news. Nothing immediately to add. Any news on your side, Marge? Any news with Bite Me or anything you want to add?
No, not really. I don't think. I'm just trying to get through the holiday season with my sanity intact. So I'm eating a lot of edibles.
I was going to say I know that feeling, but then I don't know the edibles feeling. No.
Right.
Yeah, the whole trying to hang on to sanity. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so that's everything. That's all the cannabis news and the forum news there. So we'll head to the outro. Let's do that. Professionally fading that little thing there we go. Pro. Yes, thanks for joining us, everybody. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't done that already. We're just going to take a quick 10-minute or so break, and then we'll be starting on the next stream, which is linked in the chat there. You can just head to the top of the chat, click the link, and that'll take you to the Grow Guides video where we're going to discuss how to add cannabis to all of your dishes over the festive period coming up very soon. Some nice infused turkeys and things like that. Oh no, Marge is the expert. She's going to explain it all. So we'll see you over there shortly. Roll a couple of fat ones, grab yourself some beverages and a munch, because you're probably going to need something to munch while we talk about this next episode. So yes, grab your shit, everybody, and we'll catch you over on the next stream in about 10 minutes. Well, 13 minutes. Plenty of time to roll a couple of joints and build your bowls and all that. So get on it, and we'll see you there. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I think that's about it, everybody. Yeah, we're good?
Yep. We're good.
Let's wave. Yep. We'll see you in a few minutes over on the next one.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
everybody. See you later.